Here's a peek at what guests had to say after the show.
Okay, we are back. Are the boycotts against Israel justified?
I dearly and painfully miss the time where Israel had moral authority. They used to have some moral authority.
They still do.
They squandered it dramatically in this period, and I think they're squandering it every day as we sit here. Moral authority is what changes the world, and they used to have it. And they have much less of it now, there's no doubt.
You can't have it both ways, Ron. You know, after the Second World War, everybody said, how could the Israelis just be marched into the gas chambers without fighting back? Well, they got tough, and they fight back, and they don't like it when people fire rockets into the territory.
No, that's not the tough Jews. We've met the tough Jews with Moshe Dayan. That was in 1968 and 73. What they've done in this period, though, goes against fundamental principles that, frankly, Jews have embraced for a long time, and that's not in the character of Israel as it was created. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I think we got to get out of this period here, and hopefully sometime very soon there's going to be a negotiated truce, and then get back to the bargaining table and settle this question of a Palestinian state. And the way that Israel has to do that is to recognize that it cannot continue settlement development in these areas. Otherwise, there can't be another state. We can't have
But let's have some empathy also for the Israeli public who are deeply skeptical about the character of a future Palestinian state because they live in a very dangerous neighborhood. I think it's easy for us who are very far away from there to kind of judge their behavior and how they responded.
From people who have made it no secret that they would like this Israeli state to cease to exist.
Absolutely.
But we continue to protect the Israeli neighborhood. And I think, this administration could not make clearer that the United States is a strong ally to Israel, but there has to be a negotiated agreement, and it's got to be with all Palestinians.
At the end of the day, it's their teenagers who are dying.
And if that doesn't happen, it doesn't make the neighborhood any safer.
Right. And we were talking about refugees before. I mean, the Palestinians could have had a deal on the table a long time ago, but they would not. All those Arab countries with all that empty land never wanted those Palestinians, those refugees. They had plenty of room for a lot of people, but no, they wanted this problem.
And the Palestinian leaders who want to make a deal are incredibly vulnerable. Their lives are in danger. And that's the fundamental problem. They're the ones who are
I think
at
the
risk.
fundamental problem is that people, no matter what religion, who think that the real party is in the next world, just don't have as much motivation to fix things in this one. Jason, what is your opinion of nuclear power and those who say it is better for the environment?
Fukushima taught us a lot about the risks of nuclear, and it happened about a generation after people started to forget about Chernobyl. And that's the small value of that horrible incident. But I say that nuclear isn't safe. Some argue it should be used as a transition energy source because it's low carbon. I think that we can get there by a bigger investment in solar and wind. We don't need nuclear.
And, when you think about, there's three words that everybody knows: 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, Fukushima. And each one got worse.
Virtually all of France's nuclear power is virtually all of their electricity is generated by nuclear power. There are many countries where it's been tremendously safe. There are new modular designs. There's pebble bed reactors. There are new technologies that we've stymied. We've prevented them from emerging.
That is true, too.
This makes a huge, huge difference. And fundamentally, it's base load power. Wind and solar, these are intermittent power sources. You need base load.
We have new storage energy coming on, and so
we're nowhere near the place where solar and wind are going to make a difference. And
what do you think of the guy we were talking about before from Kentucky who says that the temperature on Mars is the same as Earth?
I think it's very foolish. And I think that fundamentally, when you actually talk about what's actually going on, you see that some ideas, and I have enormous respect for the work that you do, and I value it tremendously, but I think that the idea that wind and solar is going to be a solution, the United States economy is decarbonized faster than the EU. The EU had the emissions trading scheme. We had fracking. I know you're not a big fan, but actually natural gas and nuclear are the bridge to a cleaner energy system, and we need them. And they've made an enormous contribution.
Unfortunately, fracking is releasing a lot more methane than was thought. So it's no
And
panacea.
Germany is
after
burning
all.
more lignite. They're burning more of the worst kind of coal because they're actually shutting down nuclear power plants. That's what's going to happen if you don't allow for a kind of good
Obviously, you
low
know
carbon.
You know a lot about this. I mean, you're throwing around terms I don't even know.
I care about it.
Yeah, I know you do. So what do you say to people on the Republican side, like this guy in Kentucky, the people who just seem to refuse to want to live in the world of facts? You know, I mean, Bobby Jindal said we have to stop being the party of stupid after the last election, and of course then he got scared and ran right back to stupid. But how do you get the Republican Party to not be stupid, to just at least be on the page of reality?
Well, I disagree with a lot of the folks on the panel about this. What I believe is that the things that are going to lead to cheaper, safer, reliable energy in the United States are also the things that are going to help the environment. And I think that when you're trying to build a coalition, because ultimately we've got to build a larger group of people who are going to disagree on many things, but you've got to get a lot of people on the same page. And the way to do it is to emphasize what are things that we all want. And so, you know, if you're looking at the price of electricity, it costs twice as much in Germany as it does here. And that makes a big difference. You were talking about the $130,000 before. That makes a big difference to people. So if you're able to tell people, we're going to deliver you cheaper and cleaner energy, that's something where you can build a real coalition. And that's what you've got to talk about.
Well, you have to be willing to invest in those technologies. And the fact is, I just happen to go to work every day with a whole bunch of people who don't believe in making those investments, who don't believe in the science of climate change, who don't believe that it's important for the United States to invest in the new technologies that are going to change that
populace
future.
actually does believe in climate change at this
I
point,
know,
regardless
but,
of party,
but you know,
although it varies
when you
according
have
to
a
how the economy
Congress,
is
when you have a
doing.
Congress
Yeah.
that doesn't, and that every single day, even just this week, I mean, we took votes saying we don't want the Department of Defense doing things that are going to respond to its own climate assessment.
I saw Cory Booker and Rand Paul making so nice together this week.
Criminal justice?
What?
About criminal justice reform?
Well, they did some sort of forum together, and they were like, you know, we can work together. Is that the beginning of something?
Something like what?
I mean, like a Republican and a Democrat actually not looking at each other like they have horns growing out of their head.
That is an interesting concept.
Well,
I think it has to begin though with people, with all of us on the same page, agreeing to the same basic facts. I mean, if you can't agree to the same facts, it makes it really hard.
Is there a congressperson on the Republican side you could buddy up with like that?
I could name a couple.
Who could you be friends with and work together?
Richard Hanna from New York.
Oh, he's great. No, I never heard of him.
Republicans have been for energy investment. I mean, ARPA-E started under the Bush administration. Mitt Romney ran on more investment in energy. I think that there are plenty of conservatives who
He's
support
probably going to be in trouble now that I've said that.
No, he shouldn't be. I mean, that used to be a good thing. That used to be
Yeah.
something people
No,
like
I think there are
Ted
areas
Kennedy,
around.
Remember McCain and Hillary Clinton were like buddies in the Senate for a while.
Yeah, like I think the hard Republican right is not having a good year. I mean, the bottom line, there's a lot of Republicans that I talk to say we've got to take them on because we can't win a national election with the situation as it now stands. And I think that ambition, well, that's
We're
what
living
they
on
say.
different planets.
Well, no, I don't think so.
Agree
I
on
mean, the
facts
fact
here.
is ambition is a good motivator, and they cannot win a national election with the divisions they have now.
Well, the real motivator has to be what's going to make a difference in the lives of the American people.
I agree with that
And if
wholeheartedly.
folks start focusing on that, then I think you could.
Well, we have a place to begin. We want things to get better. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Real Time with Bill Maher. Ask Bill and his guests your questions right after the show at HBO.com or on Twitter.